Welcome to Shoveling Shit with Dane Davis. Hey, I wanted to share a story today about my pecan trees. So, I told you about this farm that I bought, right? I bought it in 2020, and there's 62 pecan trees on this farm with a bunch of citrus trees and mixed in. And I did not, well, I live in Phoenix, and if anyone's ever been to Phoenix, it's not a place where you think trees. Like, I grew up in Iowa, Michigan, Indiana, Georgia, like lived all over. And when I think of those areas, or even like Utah, there's forests of trees, right? In Phoenix, I just think of deserts and cactuses. But this was like an oasis in the middle of Phoenix where there's a ton of trees, lots of shade. And when we went to go look for a place to buy, I was like, that looks like a place that would be nice because it's got lots of shade. It's very unique. So, anyway, I thought it'd just be a haven, just wonderful, beautiful. And it is. It is a place where we don't want to leave very often because it's our sanctuary. It's the place that we feel the safest and we have a lot of fun on our property. We love our animals and we love spending time with our family. And there's always stuff to do. We didn't want our kids to grow up not working, and because we have some little ones. And so working and growing up on a farm is an experience we wanted them to have as as they were, learning how to do stuff because you always have to figure out how to fix stuff and do things. Anyway, I didn't realize how much work trees are. Uh, they are a lot of work. Pecan trees specifically, they don't only just shed, leaves. They shed pecans, and you have to pick up all the pecans, and then they have overgrowth, and there's branches you have to trim and things like that. And I am not adept to be able to handle all that work by myself. So I've had to learn how to hire people or bring people into the farm to get projects done. And the challenge that I find is that people drive into my property and they see these beautiful pecan trees. They see that I have a house that's pretty nice, and they think, "Oh, I'm going to take this guy for all he's worth." Like they have no idea if I have money or not, but they just think that I have money. So they give me these quotes and bids of, okay, yeah, I can do this work for you, or I can do that work for you, and I feel like I don't get a good value for my work from these people because they'll like try to add on other things. And so I've never experienced this before because typically I've done all my own work myself, except for like electricians and plumbers and things that I need to have big projects to come in. But for caring for some of this farm work, it's been helpful to hire people to do things here and there. So they're not trying, I don't think, and some of them to be, exploitative, but they are. Like they just charge way too much for the work that they do. And so I'm trying to calculate out in my mind, okay, if you spent 10 hours on this, how much would that be per hour? And what's your overhead on all this work that you're doing? Am I providing the tools or are you providing the tools? And it's never really added up to me for what they want to charge to what the cost and the profit, in my opinion, should be. It seems very opportunistic. So I've learned to not just take their word for it in the first quote. It's very important to get at least three bids and not take the highest or the lowest, and sometimes not any of them, and wait for the next bid because maybe the market's just not ready for you to do that kind of work because they're too full. They have too many other jobs, so they're not willing to really negotiate on price. So it's been a big difference in the type of work that I can get done if I'm willing to walk away from someone offering to help. And I never really put the two together till recently. I've seen this type of negotiation in my business world where if they need you or if you need them too much, you have no negotiating power at all. They will walk all over you. They'll let you pay whatever they're willing to like put as a bid, like whatever it is. It could be I'm looking for an investor to come in and they say, well, I'll give you, $100,000 for 50% of your company. And you're like, I need $100,000. And so they'll do it. Where if there's a way you can do it where you don't need the money, they the same type of negotiation go, well, I'll give you $100,000 for 5% of your company. And it's all about the perceived need and the motivation of those that are negotiating. Because you can find expensive money, you can find cheap money, you can find helpful money, and you can find hurtful money. And what I mean by that is if you get an investor that's too much in your business, that doesn't know what they're doing, that is either too eager to get return on their investment and they're too focused in the short term, they can stifle your progress and they can keep things from actually moving forward because they're just going to be in your business all the time. If there's someone that comes in and takes too big of a stake, but doesn't have the same motivation, they're going to want to get out before you're ready to launch, and then you get devalued way too quickly. So it's really important to build the value in the company, to value yourself, to value your own capabilities, and not be too eager to make some of the steps that maybe you should sacrifice on early on, because that will allow things to progress in a beneficial way for you as a founder. It's super important that you keep that negotiation power, that you can make the decisions, and then as you need money, you take that only as you need it, and guard that capital with everything you have. And capital is more than money. Capital is the ownership you have in your own business. So, again, everything I learned from the farm is these pecan trees are a lot of work. Just because I want them trimmed today or I want to put lights up on them or whatever it is, I need to be willing to get multiple bids, look at the value it is for me, and not jump on the first one that comes because it's a flashy, shiny, it's easy, because it'll cost me in the long run. So hope that helps. Good luck. We'll talk more about investment strategies, the different types of money that can come into a business, and the effects it has on the business through the process, and how it really flows into the organization later. But in general, the concept of holding value and valuing your capital is the one I wanted to share today. So good luck. Keep digging.